Hey there, Taurus. This is your Uranus moving into Taurus reading. I guess technically it can be a mid-May reading, but really I feel this is just entirely about, not that I decided that this would be about Uranus shifting into Taurus, and this is Uranus shifting into your sign, so if anything, this is probably even more important, for you. So I guess I'll just get into it without talking and jibber jabbering too much. So, excuse me. The theme that I feel for you with this shift, which makes a lot of sense, but it's the Fool. The Fool represents Uranus, and I'm so sorry. I keep trying to figure out where's the camera. In a many aspects. The Fool, to me, represents Uranian energy. I think for most people it does, but it's the number 0. So it doesn't ever really have to go by the same rules as the other cards. They also say that, also for, the 4, the court gesture, in terms of when it came to, courts. With the king, the court gesture could make jokes that other people couldn't. They could, laugh at the king in certain ways that others couldn't. And so in that way also, it just stands out. It doesn't follow the same rules as everyone else. And so it makes a lot of sense anyway that this would be the theme for you. But I mean, this is a theme for everyone, so to be honest, I might just pull even a clarity card on the theme, but we'll see as time permits with the rest, because honestly, I feel there can be a lot that may even come through in the rest of the message that it'll probably answer that all those questions that we may even have already as we look at the Fool card, which just represents, a new beginning in all things new. Like, new beginning sounds very bland, blah. Anyone can have a new beginning, but this is a new beginning in a whole new way, light, shape, form, new life, new everything. Just new. So, I'll just jump into it. This is actually a star reading. I went with the star. I like the star shape in general. It's probably one of the few shapes I've always doodled as a kid, aside from the heart. But I also feel that it also represents Venus. It represents Taurus. To me, also represents, stability. So it just made sense to kind of do it for this particular reading, and I hope it works even more so for you, Taurus. So let's just jump in. So what we have down at the very corners, we have where you guys are, like currently, the energy, and what it is that you're seeking or kind of going through. Hope. I don't want to say hoping for, because I guess when you look at these cards, they're not hopeful, but it's what your soul is hoping for out of this, this Uranus shift. Uranus, I'm so sorry. So we have the Emperor with the 5 of Pentacles. Let me just point out, even before I even get into this, we have almost all of the 5s here. The only 5 we're missing is the 5 of Swords. But we have the 5 of Wands on the field. We have the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. And what you notice, we have both the 5 of Pentacles and 5 of Cups as our supporting, cards to major arcana cards. Like, I just want you to notice, some of the patterns that I am seeing just in this, spread. We have these these are major, not just major themes coming up, but this change, these are what I would even consider lifelong changes. This shift that's happening even now. I don't like to speak in terms of like some specific like stagnant date, because things don't really work that way. So if I mention like dates or anything, or even me in mentioning, that this is for mid-May, This is, you know, this is a long-term thing. So, just keep that in mind. So, Emperor with the Five of Pentacles here. Five of Pentacles speaks to me as, especially when we're looking here as the Emperor, when we look at it in the setup. Maybe you've been going through some hard times with an authority figure. Even just an Aries, but I get authority figure very much because just the Emperor represents to me, you know, someone that doesn't control you, but someone that kind of tells you what to do in a sense. So, and this isn't feeling very light. This doesn't even feel like maybe it could be a person. It can manifest in your life as people, or even as entities, maybe like as, you know, a company or a job per se, you know, a boss. But I really get the feeling that this is not getting the stability you wanted from, you know, from this job, from this boss, from, you know, a father, or just someone, you know, a parent. Maybe feeling rejected. Like you looked to them for some amount of faith or something, and they just kind of didn't even give you the time of day, maybe, if it's a person. I feel this even more so when I look at what it is that your soul is kind of looking for or going through in all of this. We have the moon backed by the Five of Cups. So for me, this very much dark night of the soul, and having to deal with some feelings of loss. You know, feeling, you know, just like you just were not being filled, like maybe you gave and you weren't getting back, almost. I get that because the cups, like there's some cups here, but then there's some knocked over. As in, like, maybe those two cups are your cups, you just didn't give those, like those are just kind of, you know, what you have on standby, like how we all just kind of have love on standby. And like when you went out to give someone your cups, it you know, they just knocked it over. Like, they just didn't even care. Or maybe even if it's more of a, like, you know, an entity, an authoritative entity, like a job, or a teacher, or professor, or, you know, anything that you feel like regulates your life. It could even be something even more abstract than that. Even just feeling like life, the government, like feeling like the government is just, it hasn't been treating you right, and you've been feeling that, but now you're having to, like, really reflect on that, having to deal with the fears, and having to deal with some of the illusion, even. I say illusion because we'll get into the devil of the judgment up there. But yeah, I feel this is feeling crappy isn't even really the term. This is a deep, like, a real soul, like, crying. Your soul kind of grieving. A deep soul grieving. For hidden factors, we have the Nine of Wands and the Five of Wands. So we're continuing with these fives, you know. So really what do want to mention what was coming to me is that all of this is not meant to be fearful. It's not meant to give you the feeling that, oh, this is going to go on forever. And I especially feel that with this Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, and then we also, if you see ahead, we have the Eight of Wands as the outcome. Almost like, you know, all of this is going to eventually have to come to an end, you know. Because he has one of them. There's 8 more in the back. And so eventually those 8 the 8 are going to go. But right now it's going to feel rough. It's going to feel like you're just in the middle of the eye of the storm. Maybe feeling, you know, just like anxious almost. I get the feeling like just kind of like the energy just feel like you can feel like the pressure on you, and it just is kind of like, I don't know. It's making you feel some kind of way. Maybe you feel it in your body, because I mean Taurus can be very like don't get it twisted with like the idea that just water signs are sensitive. You know, Taurus to me, you know, is representative of, you know, the earth. So I feel, you know, with these changes of the earth that it's going through, I feel like you're also feeling it in your own life and playing out a little bit in your own, you know, your own physical world. Almost like the earthquakes and the volcanoes that have been going on, you're feeling those representations in your own life. But maybe you're conscious of all this. This is usually the conscious section, or maybe you're not conscious, but you're being made aware that this is a rebirth of all of this. You know, if there was ever a time when you wanted to believe in a quote-unquote judgment day of like, not of people needing to fear like something coming and rapturing them or taking them to hell or anything like that, but of feeling like, you know, bonded and stuck. You know what, I actually want to shuffle some cards, because 2 major arcana cards is, I mean, that's intense. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I don't want to say hopefully. If you're into tarot, I don't have to tell you that. But, ooh, the Empress just fell out, so okay. Can I get something besides some major arcana cards on this? Because I'll go into the Empress, because I love that the Empress did fall out for this, because that is, you know, another card that represents to me Venus and the Earth. And we have the 2 of Swords. Ooh, and underneath, 10 of Cups. So for me, this is a choice having to be made. Between, here, let me angle my camera down so I can actually just lay this down and talk about this, because this is intense. Here, we'll do it like this. So this almost feels like a choice between how things have been going on in your own life, but even on the macro scale as far as the Earth. I mean, this represents the Earth to me. So you can either go with, you know, the change. This, I feel like it's the theme of, like, if you want to look at this as like a whole mini spread, but This is, you know, you ultimately have the choice, but I feel like really inside you do, but then you don't. Like, you do because you have free will, but you going against it is just gonna bring you more stress and more resistance. Whenever you go, you know, whatever you resist persists. So I do feel you're gonna end up going towards this. I mean, not even end up going towards this. This is what you are. So let me just even step back. Let me step back, y'all. The devil. This can be a scary card, but to be honest, it's not inherently a scary card. But in this reading, I do see it as the supposed negative, as we see it. That us being stuck to the materialist way of living. Of, you know, working, consuming, and dying. And literally low-key, like, having no idea that we don't even have to be, like, we don't even have to live this way, really. But it can feel that way. And I say that because when I look at these chains in this picture, and hopefully you can see it as well, these aren't tight chains. These are chains just loose enough to break out yourself. If you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could just slip your head on out and be done. But I don't think the characters in the picture notice that, and I don't think most people notice that either. But I think now you notice that. Whether you notice that like in the world or you just notice that in your own life. That these ties, these contracts, these like, you know, obligations that you've had, like you don't have to stick to them. Or even, I don't want to say stick to them in this way of like you being flaky. But it's like you don't have to remain shackled if you don't want to. This here, for me, it usually is, you know, needing to make a choice, being indecisive, blocking your heart. And so what's coming, I feel, is an unblocking of your heart. An unblocking of your heart, and where you start to see the ways in which materialism consumes us and keeps us tied to a lot of the ways that we live and a lot of the ways that we think. I even see this as a removal of ignorance. Even with this judgment card, like, and even as we I'll just move it slightly. As you see ahead, we have this Ace of Swords. Like, you're coming into some crazy truth. Some crazy, like, life-changing. I don't want to say crazy because I say crazy as a good thing. I love crazy. So you're coming into some mad truth. Like, some mad truth. Mad truth about yourself. This could even be mad truth about, you know, the world, about, you know, the earth. But not just coming into some truth, but coming into your inner calling. Being reborn and coming into who you really are. Who you've always been. But the same way, like, I see water in the back, like, you're just being washed. And even here, like, the water's creeping up. Water's creeping up. And you're washed. Even when in the moon card, you know, there's this water, you have these cups, there's water. But the water's being washed away. It's being removed. Let me angle it back up so we can... Oh, didn't even mention the bottom of the deck with the... Out of this, yes. Like, complete emotional... Like, really just being raptured with love, just being just so just like washed in it. Just you could just wake up one morning and just be like, I feel like I've been baptized. All right, let's get to this conclusion and wrap it up. Because I did realize I made the mistake again of not talking about the astrology first. I've been meaning to talk about that first before I get into the cards, because I realize I can get like into the cards sometimes where I'm just not realizing how long the video's getting. So let's just finish this out for y'all. So as I stated before, with the Nine of Wands and this Eight of Wands, this stuff is coming to a close and it's being deaded like that. I don't know how to... my snap is like nasty. I don't know how to snap, but it's coming to an end like that. And out of that, it's going to be this new sense of truth, mental fortitude. Like, you're going to be in a whole nother mindset. In a whole new mindset. A whole new, almost like outrageous, like, mindset. See if there's anything else that can come up for the Fool for you, Taurus, because whole new way of thinking, whole new just... So yeah, I have the Four of Swords. So you see that one sword right there, just chilling underneath, almost like that's his inner truth he's resting on, having to like sort out the false first. I guess while I do this and see if anything else wants to come out, I can talk a little bit about the transits, what it's looking like in the astrology. So there's a lot going on for you, Taurus. There's a whole new moon happening the exact same day. Page of Pentacles. So yeah, seeing just a whole new piece of you, maybe just a whole new light. That's what I get here, this Page of Pentacles. And wanting to do something with it. Like, it's wanting to plant it somewhere, you know? But I mean, that's even the feeling of what new moons are. New moons are always the feeling of, for me, it's when the moon's not even really visible in the sky per se. It's not full, so it's fresh. There's no, expectations. But with a new one in Taurus, it's like just a whole new chance to like plant like whatever you want to plant, so that whatever you do plant, it may not be like an instant. Like, this isn't necessarily for me like a new moon for instant manifestation, except the Fool. Normally this wouldn't be. Normally with Uranus, if Uranus wasn't in the picture, to me, normally this wouldn't be. But we have the Fool. We've got Uranus in the house. When Uranus starts to move exactly into Taurus, the same day. Not even just the same day, within hours of each other. Within hours of each other. Technically, the new moon for us on the West Coast in the U.S. is 4:48 a.m. And then Uranus shifts into Taurus at like 8:16. So we're talking like less than 3 hours. So this is actually kind of a new moon. Like, if you do have something like a seed you've been like dying to plant, or like you just feel so called to plant, like this would be the time, because whatever it is, it's gonna start working. I feel closer towards the end of the day, not even towards the end, we have the moon entering Gemini at closer to 1 p.m. for us in the West Coast. So through all of this, you know, the moon, you know, will still be in Taurus. It's still like all of this energy is just kind of building up to move into Gemini, where I feel the moon will bring us more information about ourselves, because it'll be sextiling Chiron and Aries. For you, Taurus, this is all, you know, you Taurus risings, this is all going to be in your first house. All of these transits are coming from the 12th into your first. So all of this is like subconscious, I don't want to say necessarily downloads, but they kind of are if you want to look at it from like a higher self perspective. But it's, the way I'm seeing it is more as it's pulling it out of you. It's pulling out pieces, you know, of your identity for you to ground and actually create on. Gemini is your second house. Aries is, you know, Aries would be your 12th house. So yeah, pulling in information, and not just information about yourself, but info about your values, info about how you really feel about not just the physical, but like what really matters to you. Everything is matter, but what matters to you? That's going to be the truth that comes out. That's going to be able to send you on this whole new journey. Let me see if I can get any information on what kind of journey here for y'all. Any insight on what kind of new journey Taurus is being taken on? So yeah, all I keep getting for y'all are these pentacles, but these court card pentacles. So maybe when I look at the Queen of Pentacles, especially the way she holds the pentacle, I think of people getting pregnant. So if there's people that are looking to have a child, or, you know, grow on their family, I totally see it. But it doesn't have to be that, you know. This could just be, you know, bringing out that inner you, that inner child, or even teenager, you know, just the younger side of you that always was able to see, you know, the seed, that was always able to see it. But now it's in you and you're living it. Like, you're becoming that which you've always believed. To where you become the Empress. So for, you know, women or people that identify as women or femme, it's, you know, you're blossoming, you're glowing up. You're not just glowing up, but you're, through all of this, you're coming into your abundance. Your true abundance. Like, when people talk about abundance, they're probably thinking of like mad dough, which that can be mad dough. Like, let me not down talk money as if it's not a type of energy, and it's not very useful in this world too. But you're coming into a new kind of abundance, like a spiritual abundance, like that's gonna ground you. To where now when stuff comes to knock you down, it's almost like it's not gonna even sweat you low-key. Yeah, I hope that resonated with some of you out there, Taurus. We're coming close to about 30 minutes, so I don't want to have my phone caught off on me like it has been. Apparently, it'll only go like 33 minutes or so, and I think that's because I'm recording on like HD or something like that. But not that y'all care, but I think that's really, I don't know if people would prefer that I did longer readings and then the videos were less quality, especially since I'm only really recording the pictures of this. And to be quite honest and to be frank with y'all, I'd be feeling weird about showing my face. Well, especially now because my glasses are broken and I'm still waiting for some new ones to come in. But once I get my act together, y'all, I'm gonna be upfront, because I do want to show my face and have people get to know me. So yeah, I'll just leave you with that, Taurus. This is gonna be trying. Like, let's not even front. It's gonna be trying. It's gonna test you in probably ways that you haven't been tested in a minute. But even that, this Nine of Wands card, it even speaks of stamina, of holding strong, you know. It's gonna feel like it's coming up and it's towering over you and it's getting ready to just devour you. But those Eight of Wands, like, it's gonna come through and just, it's gonna blow away, and it's gonna almost blow your mind how everything just starts to fall into place and you just come into a new sense of who you really are. So yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Gladiator in Sweats. If you're interested in any personal readings or what have you, you can also message me there, DM me or whatever through there, or email me at jnfitzgerald@outlook.com. I guess I'll just drop that email down there in the description box as well. And that'll be it. Take as much time as you can, Taurus, for self-care through all of this, because you're gonna need to develop an ability to sustain yourself. And through that, you'll realize that you don't actually need to seek external, like, material things to soothe you and to ease you. So I'll end off with that, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.